Hi, and welcome to Mommy Diaries. This episode is brought to you by Nestle, and we're still on the topic back to school. On today's show, we are talking about parent and child conversation. It's Phumzile and Khanya. I like it when my guests introduce themselves. Really like so. Introduce yourself, my love.
Hi, my name is Khanya, and I'm the daughter of this one right here.
Oh, okay, this one. I like this relationship already.
Okay, well, I am Phumzile. I'm the father of this one.
Okay.
You like copying my style, hey?
No, copycat. How's your relationship? Like, tell me about your relationship with your dad.
I'd say bestie.
Oh, he's your best friend.
Yeah, we play chess with each other.
Yeah.
We were generally very chill around each other. Ooh, and we like driving around with each other. Like, we do activities with each other.
Together.
Like, it's very fun.
Yeah. How's your relationship with your daughter?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
I think she makes it easy. She's a sweet child. She listens, and sometimes she knows when she's done something wrong. I don't have to say it. I just give her the look, and she knows.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's a privilege to have a child that listens, that wants to grow, and that adores you and respects your opinions. I love it.
Watching you guys makes me a bit emotional because I never had that with my dad. So let's talk about the importance of the presence of a father in your daughter's life.
I think it's very important, especially at the time that we live in.
Yeah.
And I've picked that up in her confidence.
Right.
And the more present I am, and the more conversational I am, and try to lower a little bit that authoritarian sort of style of parenting, and try to understand her and know her. And I think it's quite intriguing for me. Not only does she learn a lot from me, but I also learn as a parent as well.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's very important, and at times we take it for granted. And I understand perhaps maybe why, not so many single fathers who does these things on a daily basis.
Can let's talk about school. You're in grade 8.
Yeah.
So how was it moving from grade 7 to grade 8? Or did you have to change schools, or you still in the same school?
Oh, I had to change schools. Of course.
Yes, how was it? Why? Now I remember why.
I didn't have to change schools, but I wanted to. I guess I was pretty chill about it. I was excited because I didn't have to see the same people every day.
So you're fine with making new friends and moving to a new environment?
Yeah, I was actually very excited about that. And I had new friends, and it was a different experience because you have more of a workload than in grade 7. And generally, it's more chill, I noticed, at least in my experience in high school. The teachers don't always chase after you and stuff for work, and you have to take more responsibility for it. So,
And then obviously we are now, it's new year, transitioning from last year and planning for the new year. How was that for you, planning for her, with the new school, her moving schools, and also preparing for the back to school?
It's I think it's an exciting moment for her, but I think it has to do with reintroducing new routines now, especially a week before the school starts. Go back to setting up bedtime schedules, talking about the future, what's going to happen this year, what are the plans, what are the goals. So those are the basics that we had to deal with, actually.
Yeah. What conversations do you guys have about her future, about your future, Khanya?
Well,
let's start here. What do you want to be?
Oh,
when you grow, you are grown already, but when you're done with school.
Between businesswoman and politician.
Really? And why is that? Why do you think you want to be a politician or a businesswoman?
First of all, when it comes to the business aspect of it, I want to have money so I can build schools and build hospitals and financially help those who are more disadvantaged. And if possible, I'd like to be a politician. I'd be able to create laws and regulations which encourage those type of institutions, and which encourages that type of infrastructure, that type of country, where we can have more people employed, or where we can help more people in a sense. So,
did you know about this, Dad? The way you're looking at him, you look like for news to you. I'm a politician.
Comrade.
Comrade Khanya.
Look, the businesswoman aspect of it, I knew about it. I think she
Are
always.
you into business yourself?
I am. I
Gotcha.
am. I'm a scholar of business
Okay.
generally. So from, I think at an age of 3 or 4, she always talked about being a businesswoman and so on and so forth. And I was encouraging that. The politician aspect of it is fairly new. I think I only heard about it maybe a week or 2 ago, and I have my reservations.
Okay.
However, because I know what type of a child she is, the level of confidence that she has, the level of intelligence, she's quite sober, and I know she can handle it. And if it doesn't work out, she'll grow and be whatever that she wants to be.
And now that you know, obviously, what she wants to be, what role are you going to play in supporting her and making sure, not just paying for the fees and all of that? What role are you going to play in order to help her to be able to achieve her dreams?
So look, it starts with conversations. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's her dreams, and I'm always an advocate of people following their dreams and doing what they're passionate about, regardless of how I feel about it. I think my responsibility begins on creating an environment that is conducive for her to see all the permutations about whatever decisions they make. What are the pros or what are the cons, and if things don't work out, how does she pivot? And because I understand she loves chess as well, chess, so that means there's an element of being a strategic thinker. Therefore, she'll be able to come out of it regardless.
And then besides, obviously, academics and what do you like, let's say, extramural activities, and how do you balance that? You look like an A student doing it.
Well, I really like debate and chess. Well, the reason why I like debate is mainly because I get to see different points of views, and also we get to see where the middle ground is. How we could relate, though having opposing opinions. And it teaches you how to, I believe it teaches you how to essentially think critically, both with chess and debate. It teaches you how to accept opinions way better and to just express yourself within with the information you're giving out or with how you speak. So
let's say there's someone who's your age and she's watching and they're so confused. They don't know what they want to do, because sometimes it's not that some people are not privileged to know immediately when they're in school, this is what I want to do when I grow up. What advice would you give to someone your age who's still trying to figure out, yes, I do like maths, but I don't know what I want to be when I grow up? Like, what would you say to, let's say, a friend? Think of a friend coming to you saying, yo, Khanya, I don't know what to do next year. What would you say to them?
Well, this is hard because I've never been in that spot. But personally, if I was in their position, I would try as many things as possible. As many things, and see what clicks the most. Because then once you click, you can know that you're going to enjoy this later in life. You won't be like, okay, indecisive, and you just pick something you don't want in life. And you shouldn't go too much for superficial aspects like, oh, I want to be this because my parents want me to be a doctor, and then you're miserable being a doctor. Rather just explore and see what you like. And then,
And then, Dad, what advice would you give to fathers who are, maybe their kids are so confused about what they want to do? Would you give them the same advice, or what advice would you give to them?
It's a collaborative effort. So we need to listen more as much as we talk more. And we need to look at external resources as well, beyond what we have at our disposal. The information is at the palm of our hand. And if the child wants something else, but they're struggling to obtain that, there's so many tools and there's so many, I suppose, things that they can really explore and tap into. But what is important about it, the communication between the parent and the child needs to be clear. And you need to align whatever communication, whatever decisions you make, you need to align them with their passions as well. It cannot be just you want to do maths or you want to do science, but their personality is not aligned with it, or their passion is not aligned with it. There must be that alignment, there must be that level of symbiotic relationship between the two, and incorporate the hobbies as well of these kids. What are their heroes? What is it that makes them excited and laugh and smile and see spark in their faces? And the moment you're able to bridge that gap and let them see their fun in it, that's when they find their passion. That's where they find that what they would want to be in the future. And I mean, gone are the days where if the parents want this, or this is the most paying job, this is what you should follow. Things are different. The most paying jobs now are not the most paying jobs that we used to have back in the days. And for me, that's what I do with her. When, for example, when she said she wants to be a politician, I had my reservations, but then I had to look at her personality. What else does she like? Oh, she likes debating. She likes public speaking. She likes chess. Okay, cool. If she's that passionate about these things, how do they link to this? Can they make her still enjoy this? Or even if it fails, or even if it doesn't pay her, will she still feel fulfilled after doing it? And that would be my sort of advice to the parents.
When do you think, is there a best time to start having these conversations with our kids? You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here, my daughter's like 7, so obviously I'm starting to have those conversations. She's trying everything, extramural activity, everything. But I'm letting her to try everything, like you said, so that she can, what's the word you use? Click.
Yeah.
What clicks with her, eh? So I'm trying to understand, like, from your point, when is the best time to start having these conversations about what do you want? What new skills do you want to learn? What hobbies do you like? To be able to learn what your child likes or don't like.
I think as early as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pick up certain mannerism. Through the games they play, through things that they do.
Yeah.
And that's where you can see their cognitive abilities. That's how you can see their developmental abilities. Even from that, as early as it is, you can, at the back of your mind, pick up, this one can be this one might be this one is so extroverted, maybe she's going to be a comedian, who knows?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be a taboo issue to ask, so what do you think you're going to be when she's 4 or 5?
Yeah.
It might not mean much at that time, but you are building a culture of making these conversations a norm. By the time she's 13, 14, when you start thinking seriously about these things, they're not foreign.
Yeah.
They're not like, okay, what's wrong with you? Why are you asking me this? It becomes a seamless exercise.
Yeah.
And therefore, hence, it has to be ongoing every day. And even at times where you find yourself where you have to discuss tough conversations or tough topics, they also become easier, because it's not like there's a difference from this topic into the next. It's a daily routine.
Yeah.
Routine.
Yeah. What's the toughest conversation that you had to have with her? That you felt like, yo, but not in front of her alone. Yo, okay. But you had to have it.
The toughest conversation I have. I don't think they have been very tough, because she's a proud machine, this one. So she talks.
Okay.
But I know I'll give 2 scenarios.
Right.
First scenario, we always have tough conversations when we've made, or when we've set out goals at the beginning, and we've set out targets, and we set out rewards, and we set out concessions, and we set out, lack of a better word, punishments for not attaining that.
Yeah.
Now, when we call each other to order and say, let's account, we said we're going to do this, we didn't do this, how did we fail in this? It's usually not a nice conversation at times, because if we said we're going to have 80% and we're sitting on 70%, and I said, if you get 80%, you're going to get this, therefore you're not going to get this, but how can we change it? It's obviously not going to be a nice conversation with her. And that's the lighter side of the tough conversation for her. But for me, it was more of those conversations about boyfriends, Jaden, I think he likes me. I don't want to hear that.
I also don't want to hear
I'm making an example. I don't like those conversations.
I never mentioned it, Jaden.
It's a different name. But I think one of the critical ones, I think I wanna add in another dimension to the conversation.
Yeah.
There was a stage where at their school they had to discuss puberty.
Yes.
They had to discuss transformation of their bodies as girls. Now, if you stay with me and alone, and at that time, it was a bit of a tricky conversation to have at that time. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm primitive. Maybe at the time I was a bit stuck up.
Yes.
But I think the school made it easy. And I think the school that she goes to, they had programs where they would call girls and talk about those things. When your body changes, this is what happens. Nothing's wrong with you.
Yes.
But when we have it home, at the beginning it was difficult.
Yeah.
But because there's also a culture of talking,
Yes.
she also a talkative one. She made it easy, and then I could go to the shop and get whatever that she needs
She needed.
for her needs.
Yeah. Okay. And then when else any challenges or like the toughest topic or conversation that you had to have with your dad from your side?
From my side,
Mm.
believe it or not, it was most likely academics. Like when I didn't meet targets, like my dad would talk for hours. We'd be there talking for hours, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And any challenges that, like your dad was talking about school, because at school, it's not always easy. There are challenges that, people come across or go through. Any challenges that you've went through at school, or just being you at school? Where you felt like, like you go to school today and you felt like, "Oh, today was not a nice day for me."
Oh yes.
I'm sure there are days where you feel
Yes.
like this was not a nice day for me.
Yes.
Take us through that.
Well, there have been days. There have been many days where I felt like that, but not too many. Like mostly it's like school and stuff, but like sometimes, I guess sometimes people can be mean. And like you're like, oh, okay, that just started my day off bad, and then now you have to find out, you have an assignment due on Friday, and I'm like, seriously, like you couldn't push it. You couldn't push it to next week Monday.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah,
Yeah.
those type of things, which is really trivial if I'm not even gonna say, but yeah.
We live in different times. There's social media now, screen time. How do you? Is it also a treat, or do you allow her to be on her phone or iPad? And then maybe after 8 o'clock you take it. Let's talk about that, because sometimes as parents we're not present because of the phone, and then you're also doing some work on your laptop. Let's talk about screen time.
It's a thorny issue, screen time, because you know how they are at this age.
TikTok.
These things are an extension of their lives.
Yeah.
So and I have serious conversations about it. I say we are privileged to have all of these platforms at our disposal and have all these devices at our disposal. So we need to use these tools as enablers. You are at school. Unlike back in the days, you have to go to the library only. Now you can search information. You can know anything that you need. But for entertainment purposes, she knows. If she's writing exams, I take them. The devices must not be at your room. Put them at the lounge or put them wherever away from you, because I don't know what happens when you sleep.
Yeah.
Not that there are trust issues, but
Yeah.
sometimes you need to be quite tough about it. And I'm strict. Usually at 8 o'clock, it used to be cut-off time. If you've done your homework and you had a little bit of 30 minutes or an hour of screen time, but after 8 o'clock, go to bed.
Yeah.
But now as she grows older, it moved to 9 o'clock, and then that's how we do it.
Actually, I want to say something about
Except weekends. Weekends are a
Yes,
bit
that's like-
relaxed.
yeah.
Holidays,
Yes.
they can do as they please. But when it comes to school time, we don't compromise.
Hey, I don't sleep at 9:30 anymore.
What time do you sleep?
I sleep at 8:30 these days.
That's good for you, right?
I complaining.
Now you spoke about the importance of sitting down and setting those goals. I think it's the same message that we're trying to push with Nestle about writing that wish list for both sides. What do you want for yourself for the year? What do you wish for? Let's talk about the importance of sitting down with your child and setting those goals for both. I'm sure you also tell her about your yearly goals or monthly goals. If a parent is watching there, how can they sit down with their daughter and write that wish list or that setting those goals?
It's very critical, Pasi. And I think for me, what is more important is that these goals need to be attainable, need to be relatable, like I said earlier on. And as you do so, yes, I have my goals. Yes, she has her goals. We don't want to shoot the lights out and come up with goals and objectives that we're never going to meet. It needs to be something that is measurable, that we believe we can. And it's about creating an environment that enables that to happen. So it's quite critical that we talk about it, we make it a collaborative effort, and it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about both of us. We both want to do what's best for all of us, whether it's your academics or whether it's other aspects of your school life or whether it's other aspects of the household that we do so. So it is important for us to sit, talk about them continuously, and make sure that it's a setup that is making everybody comfortable in talking about it. And it can be fun as well. It doesn't have to be serious. We're not in a corporate space. It must be fun. It must be relatable. And I think we do that quite effectively. And we write these things and we're allowed to change. I mean, companies review things all the time. We're allowed to come back and say, Dad, I don't think this is possible. These are the situations, these are the circumstances. Okay, cool. And then, okay, maybe I'm pushing it a little bit, but there are times if she wants something out of the plans that we have, I'm like, give me a pitch, present it to me. Why are we changing the agreement? And then we take it like that.
And then what are your wish lists for the year? Do you want to learn any new skill?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like it's been on my list to do Kyudo.
Okay. What if no one knows Kinyu? What's that?
Kyudo.
Explain.
I had the same reaction.
Please explain.
Kyudo is basically Japanese archery. It was born in feudal Japan when samurai were alive. So I'd say 1500s, roundabout Edo period. That's the basic explanation I can give.
So that's your...
Yeah.
That's what you're clicking with this year.
Yeah, and I want to learn how to do a backflip. I think that is really cool.
Backflip.
A backflip.
Oh, backflip. Yeah, I also don't know how to do it, but I don't want to learn it.
Same here.
Okay. I used to do backflips back in high school.
How old was I?
Times have gone. So now, any last words, any message that you have with parents out there who have this similar setup with you, like father, daughter, or father and son, how important it is to open that, that gap of having conversations and setting up goals. Any last message?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
And with girls, I don't know how it is with boys.
Yes.
Because I only have a girl. And purely because I have a girl child who's talkative, who's open. We can talk about anything, and I don't think children must fear us. I don't think they must be scared of us. But at the same time, we're not opening a free for all. They must also know there's authority in the house. There are rules in the house. There are certain things that are tolerable. There are things that are not. But when you have that close relationship with your child and you can talk about anything, no one feels that. And you never question the respect. You never question the authority. You never question the love. We need to parent with love. We need to parent with care. And we need to hold each other accountable. And we must stick to our word. If I said I'm going to do this to her, the same way I say I'm going to do it to an adult and still live up to that promise, I must do the same. Because what I've picked up is that children sometimes don't learn through what we say. They learn through what we do. And usually we tend to hit the spot when we make them, when we make them more, when we make them feel than when we make them think. And I always try, as I converse with her, I try to tap into those emotions. What do you feel? And I hear what you're thinking. How do you feel? And then when we can get into the understanding of how you feel, it's easier to go to the how you think about it and how you can logically orchestrate your way around it. And therefore, and I don't think we should shy away from having those conversations with girl children. I think they're the best buddies. And I think what I've picked up in the level of confidence, even in my absence, I have no doubt. And I think it comes with that element of masculinity around her. Around other boys, around other male figures, around male authority. She doesn't shy. But at the same time, she understands the hierarchy and how you must treat other people.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. And then, Wenda, your last words?
I don't know what to say as last words, but I'll leave it on a positive note.
Was I in a negative note?
No.
Okay.
More positive.
Just
Positive to the power of two.
Touch some grass, speak to your parents, speak to your children if you're the parent watching the podcast, and have a good day.
Actually, that was the link. You closed the show. It's done. It's a wrap. It's in the can. There you have it, Mommy Diaries. Don't forget about your next back to school wish list. The website is on the screen.